Hello, Call, and hello, all other users. Sorry, I'm going to speak a little bit softer than usual because everybody's asleep in the house and I'm wide awake. So I thought it's time to do a bit of a stream then, just to get myself switched off from the busy day. And here we are. So thank you for joining me, whoever you are, and talk with us. Let's see what we can do in the stream. I'm gonna check a couple of things. I just want to send Mario a quick note as well because I think he inspired this whole thing and see if we can get him on here. For the rest, we're just going to do the checks and balances and see that everything looks okay and just enjoy. Alright, doors open. Don't want to make too much of a noise, so we'll skip the cleaning of the aircraft. We pretend it's clean already. Hi Mark, welcome to the stream. Hi Mark, welcome to the stream. Let's find Mario's post quickly.
Guys, the lead is on board.
Let's find Mario's post. Right, I've just posted on the Facebook pilots group, so hopefully we get a couple more guys to come and watch, but not the end of the world. And actually, we tag Mario pilots group, so hopefully we get a couple more guys to come and watch, but not the end of the world. And there we go. If he comes around, he comes around. And I've just realized I've been echoing in your ears. Sorry about that. I've stopped the stream coming in as well. And let's see, get out of that page and then we can get going. Alright, can you guys hear me well enough? I know it's a bit soft, sorry for that, but I don't want to wake everybody. Hope you can hear me. Right. I think we need push back. We can actually use the taxiway. Let's have a look. I can just turn around. We'll skip the tug. Excellent. Thank you guys. Hello Paul, hello Johan. Nice to see you guys still awake. He's muted still. 5.8 on the fuel. Uh-huh. Okay. Excellent. I haven't had any issues with the aircraft. I've in actual fact been testing something behind the scenes, which I'm not going to talk about right now, but it's kind of interesting. It's getting too real now, man. It's blowing my mind. I'll switch it off. Why? You just click the button there on the radio. Look where I'm. Sorry. Look on my stream. There's the radio. Just click the button. Switch it off. The marker. It's called MKR. Just click it. See, there's one on that side as well. Just click it. No worries. Hello, Uncle John. All right. Yeah, no, no, no. I've been in this cockpit in the real world many times, so I've played around. There's actually one here at the top as well, but anyway, that's usually where I plug in. Right, let's get going. See. Hello, Rian. Hey, you're welcome. Hello, Petrip. This is not a real-time flight, by the way, gentlemen. I set it to early morning because I don't want to stream a completely dark flight. The weather is foul, so there's mostly clouds. I mean, you're not going to see much, so there's no point in making it dark, not much. All good. Yeah, yeah. Mario was complaining about the fuel, so I want to try and help him out, give him a point of reference. I mean, maybe he's got a point, maybe it's something on his side. I don't know, but I know Mario long enough to want to help him, So let's see, if I do the flight that he's said he did and he couldn't get to, or get the correct performance and fuel situation with the Zibo, why don't we just test it? Well, the insufficient fuel warning is one of them, but from what I understand, and look, I am tired, so I might have misread it. He was talking about something like the Zibo was adding fuel, so he doesn't understand why it would add fuel in the center tank or something. I'll go read it again, but the fact of the matter is it was something like that. So anyway, we've got 5.8 tons. So uh, I can't remember, but it's not really important right now. What is important is we're going to do the same flight and then you can have a point of reference to see, if he's got something missing or what. There is a funny thing that has happened with the Zebra. I haven't tried it with this version, okay, but it is like a known bug. If you repair your failures, it actually adds fuel because I think what happens is it reads from X-plane's configuration, and if it's got more fuel in the X-plane configuration than it's got in the Ziba, it's going to add fuel basically. I'm not 100% familiar with the technical side of that, but it was a funny thing that crept in that um, I happened to notice. So you try and fix one problem, you create another one, inadvertently. It's just one of those things. All right, let's see. Okay, so my point of reference for fuel is obviously the OFP. There we've got 5.8, right? So we do have 5.8 over there. Our reserves, 2.8. Cost index will be 20. Trip fuel, 2.2. And we're going to do 200. Yeah, yeah. Cumulus granitis. Yeah, one of those things. 275, 39. Alright, so we would normally do a derated takeoff and a climb, and I'm gonna guess 35 should be enough. Look, if you go to the top and you set this little selector to the wind. No, hold on. I might have typed incorrectly. I'll go recheck that. But basically what I'm just checking here is the wind. So let's go back and go check what you're talking about. Let me just finish this, then we go back to 60,000. It's supposed to be 20,000. Runway slope. Runway slope. Down 0. Yeah, 0.2. And the heading is 206. It's amazing. Don't know how the guys know that I go live. Then all the questions comes in on the side here. All right. Outside air temperature is 14. Dirk, hello. Good evening, Norman. Hello. There was an index. There you go. You feel better, Johan. Thank you for that. Exactly. I missed a 0. I'm glad I have a good co-pilot or 2 or 3. Yeah, it happens. One, 0, 2, 3. Right, I'm going to leave that VOR on. It is in the correct state. Right, so let's get you going.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, welcome aboard our flight today. We're wrapping up the final paperwork here to get you on your way momentarily. I want to thank you so much for your company and business. We invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Again, welcome aboard.
Captain has trauma fans and seatbelt sign. Would you ask at all Passengers, take your seat at this time and please fasten your seatbelt. Just as a reminder, we cannot leave the gate until carrying items are properly put away. All overhead bins are closed and all passengers are seated.
Hey Dominic, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me. For us it's late here, but I'm still wide awake. The rest of the house is sleeping, so I'm keeping the voice down, and I'll try not to get too excited. Right, and the trim. Right, let's close the doors, get the fuel pumps on, and send the other guys away. See, Uncle John, I brought my limo today again. Ah, lovely weather, lovely. Hey, okay. I wish our internet would just get fixed so I can actually watch Twitch and use Twitch again.
Please double check the security of your seatbelt. All electronic devices will need to be turned off and put away at this time. This does include all cellular phone situations.
I'll try again. Guys, apparently I forgot to unmute you again. Silly me.
Naughty, naughty, naughty.
Yeah. Thanks, Petra. Good to have you as a co-pilot, my friend. Right, so we're waiting for
That cockpit's
56.
getting a little bit crowded with the amount of co-pilots you've got.
You know what? We use magic. We can do this. Right. Close that valve, get some airflow at the back, and start number one.
Do you know, I don't think I've ever started number one engine first. I've always done.
I've had to do number one a few times, especially when you fly for Delta. They always start engine one first. But remember, the real world rule is that the one furthest from the terminal starts first. So if you push with your tail right, it means that your left engine, your number one, is the furthest. So you have to actually start that one first, except if it's the first flight of the day. You know, now we're splitting hairs again and getting very technical. But remember, Jorge taught us that.
I do, I
Yeah.
do, I do.
Alright, let's do that. Let us look at ground services. GPU can go. Chocks can go. We are happiness. Right, let's get that semi-centered as best we can. Right, both engines are running. We've still got 5.8 Mario. Fuel is not a problem yet. Let's go for taxi. Everything else is ready. Let's go. Just want to get my map on my side so I can see where I'm going. Hello, Joe, and hello, Dominic. I see you've come into the
Good
area.
evening. I guess it's night by you, I guess, right?
Yeah, late evening already, late night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, good
Oof.
evening.
Surprised to see you. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I just need to unwind. I've worked very hard today, and it's just my way of spoiling myself to get myself to go sleep now.
Where we're going?
We're flying from Lisbon to Porto.
Porto has become one of my favorite airports.
Yeah, it's a lovely one. All right, I've fiddled a little bit with the Sim Toolkit Pro, and well, the map I've chosen now is kind of weird, so I think I need to probably go back to satellite. It just makes me feel more happy. All right, so I've changed my color. I don't know if that's a good choice. Maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe that's not a good idea. Where's this display so I can show you guys what I'm actually doing?
Let's
Um,
have a look at the list you made.
yeah, there you go, there you go. I'm gonna go for orangey. Let's see. All right, yeah, well, there I am. All right, so we're taking off runway 21 today, which is this one. So we're just gonna taxi right out and turn over there. All right, just to show you the weather, and this is nothing compared to an hour ago. You should have seen this place an hour ago. It was hell. Look there by Porto where we're going to land. We're gonna see what happens there. This morning, early, I did a test flight just on my own. And I actually had wind shear. First time in the Zibo that I can recollect, I had massive wind shear there.
What did you do? Go around.
No, it's during the takeoff.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was during takeoff. Right, let's go. Now I'm gonna do a semi-donut turn over here. Pull the brake and turn the tiller, you know?
Handbrake turn.
Yeah. Very unprofessional, but there's no one here to complain. Hey,
They'll
dumper.
measure
Hmm? Yes, Paul?
so they'll measure the tread depth on those tires and charge you for it.
They gotta catch me first. From Porto, I'm going to South Africa. No extradition treaty. We don't care for the International Criminal Court in this place. We just laugh them off. Who are they after all? Ha ha ha. Right, I think I'm on the right taxiway. Yeah, looks like it. All the new guys, welcome to the stream. If I haven't greeted you yet, welcome.
Approaching 2-1.
Hey Bruno, welcome.
I didn't have any fuel problems with my flight from KMCO to KLX this morning. I loaded 18 tons. It loaded it like it's supposed to be, and yeah, I landed with 4.2 tons installed in the tanks. So,
Johan, I haven't had any fuel issues. I've had this insufficient fuel warning while doing circuits at Porto. I've had that. And then all I do is I go and set my reserves to 0, and usually it keeps quiet, it stops the bell and it just continues as normal.
I didn't have that insufficient fuel warning. I set my reserves on 2, and
Yeah,
that nothing happened.
I don't know. Bruno, this is one of my favorite areas. For the longest of time, Lisbon and Porto and the flight in between and doing circuits at Porto has been part of my Zibo testing sites. For the longest of time, it's an awesome little flight either way, and you can test a lot of things in this short flight. So I like this place a lot, and Mario introduced me to it, so he stays here as well. Not sure where you stay, but yeah, he stays here, and it was a good
Another
introduction.
good testing one is between Joburg and Kinshasa. With that
Yeah, yeah,
speed
yeah.
restriction.
Yes, excellent, excellent, Bruno. Ah, a little bit of rain again. Awesome, Bruno. I never check the winds. Let's just check the wind in this place because it feels like I'm getting a bit tossed around here. I've got to continuously wiggle the tiller. Come on, come on, come on.
Are you using radars,
No,
Nika?
no tiller. I've got a tiller lever and I've got to continuously move it. It just doesn't stay straight.
Yeah, but do you use a radar for
Uh,
your
for taxiing on the ground, for the nose wheel.
yes?
No, I use a lever on the throttle quadrant.
Okay.
Okay, the wind is 220 at 12 knots, guys. So that's kind of a reason why we're struggling.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Huge area to turn around here. Wow. Okay. Let's do the checks. Weather radar. Don't need any of you. All set. Terrain. Yeah. All set. Let's go. And we're down to 5.6 for takeoff from 5.8 on the fuel. Nothing extraordinary wrong here.
Approaching on runway 21.
Are you watching the stream, Nika?
I don't know. I tagged him in the post. If he's not watching live, he'll get the video afterwards. Okay, I'm just going to park
80
here.
knots.
Hold on. I don't want to do a rejected takeoff. Bad. Toga's not kicking in at all. Let's quickly check, see. Yeah, okay. Alright, that happens.
Right hand seat flight director, is it?
Yeah. There we go. See how important one little switch can be. Unfortunately, we've got a long runway. Paul, you're getting good, eh?
80 knots.
Well, when I've not got my hands full actually flying, I can look round the cockpit as well as anybody.
6,000 remaining. 5,000 remaining.
V1, rotate.
4,000 remaining.
Positive rate.
Gear up.
.400.
And command A is on. Yeah, Bruno, it's late. I'm tired, but you know, you give it a good bash. Also, I think it's good for training. You know, you can't train
1,000.
somebody if something doesn't go wrong sometime. You know, and I mean, everybody that needed to see that will probably see that and go, "Oh, I've done it myself. Oh, okay, I'll remember not to do it. You know, myself." So, all good.
I absolutely agree with that statement, Nico. It's
Yeah,
some of the best learning that we've done is when things haven't gone properly.
exactly, exactly, Paul. Oh,
Yeah.
I wish I had good coffee right now. Sorry, Joe, you wanted to say?
No, I second that. I think the mistakes and the little things that go wrong are so important in the learning process. You know.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Wow, you can see nothing. Ooh, raindrops. Only thing you can see. What a view. Just for you, Uncle John, I cleared the screen, okay?
Thank you.
We don't want your OCD to overreact tonight.
Oh, here we go. I've moved over to my laptop anyway.
All right. Don't fall asleep now, please.
Negative. I'm comfortable. Laptop's on. Headphones are on. Watching and listening.
Okay. Fuel 5.1. Looks about right if I look at the OFP.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the problem people have had with fuel is from top of descent, isn't it?
I'm not sure. Your TV is a bit loud there, Uncle John. Let me go
Is
read
that
his
better?
post.
Is that better?
Oh, yeah, yeah, 100%. Let me just go read his post again quickly. Sorry, Mario. Can't remember everything. Find his post. Yeah, he says after takeoff, he found an extra ton of fuel loaded in the center tank, and the other two are almost empty. So it's like it did a swap around. So it took from the wings, put it into center tank. I don't know.
That's very odd.
Yeah, and all the weights went bad. That's understandable. I don't know. Yeah, no, I haven't had any of that. So let's see. Strange.
Well, my answer to all that is if you're not getting the Rico, nor should he. So there's two issues. Either he's set up wrongly or he
Mm.
set his FMC up wrongly.
Hello, Cody.
Yeah, I don't know. Or he didn't start the flight with a Cessna 172. And
Possibly, yep. That's another one. Well,
then one of the
set it
scripts,
up.
yeah, one of the scripts broke because he didn't do that. So I don't know. It can be anything.
He's
And hello,
obviously
Cody.
cutting some corners somewhere.
I don't know. Can't say. Don't know. Only you will know. Mario's in Lisbon, Bruno. Yes, he's not on Discord with us. I don't see him here, and I'm not sure if he got the tag when I made the tag on Facebook yet. So he might join us. He might be lurking in the background, or he might see the video afterwards. So then he can compare what happened and what didn't happen.
1,000 to go.
And good luck with that New Zealand flight. That is an awesome flight. Anybody that has never flown into Queenstown really should go and study that route, go study the approach and try it. It is one of the more technically difficult ones and thoroughly enjoyable and exhilarating if you can get it right.
Like a drug with me.
I love it too.
And that's not because I can manage it, because I can't manage it.
Mm-mm. But you know, the whole theory between starting the Zibo with a 172 goes like this. Because the Zibo mod is not a real aircraft, it's actually a mod of an aircraft. It's a plug-in that gets loaded, all right? If your system isn't strong enough, if you don't have enough resources to load it, and if you then go and overload the explain with a other lot of plugins and Lua scripts and all kinds of funny things, including scenery, including weather, what basically happens is during some of the loads, not every load, but some of the loads, some of the Zibo scripts fail. All right. And that's usually why people get funnies. So what we've been saying since Explain 11.26, it was really bad in that version of Explain, really bad, because at that point in time, the guys have had 2-3 years to really build up Explain and fill it with a whole bunch of junk. They started having all these funny failures. All right, and we said, please start with the Charlie 172 first. All right, so if you have a strong machine with limited stuff that you load into, chances are very good you don't have to do it. It's just natural. I mean, common sense tells us that with reasonable deduction, that if your machine is strong enough, you don't have to do it. But my machine here also is a strong machine, but I've got a load of stuff that's loading. And to give the Zibo mod a fair chance to load properly so no scripts fail on you during the loading period or get left behind or whatever, I also load the 172 first. You will always see it if I start my stream early. Anyway, many guys have seen it on many streams. I always start the 172. I let the hard drive spin and complete its whole mission. So all of Explain loads, the aircraft loads, the weather, the plugins, the scripts, everything loads. Once my hard drive stops, I then load the Zibo. And I tell you what, I never have issues. And the guys can argue as much as they want and try and be clever. That is the proper way of doing it. Again, if you can get away with it, enjoy it. It's possible, do it. If it's possible, do it. But for the guys who have funny issues and funny errors, the only way to load it is with the 172 first.
Trusted
Yeah, it's a
and
trusted procedure. Yeah, Uncle John. Tried and tested, it works. But let's see, this is not a very long flight. I better keep my eye on here. Okay, we're already 110 nautical. Yeah. If you ever get a funny, then you know what to look out for. The more Zibo streamlines the aircraft, the more he gets rid of the ex-Lua scripts, the more he moves over to C++, the less issues there will be, the more leaner and meaner the aircraft gets to load. So the problem is busy shrinking inherently because of the design and because of the program language being used. But Twixter made a comment on one of my streams at Lisbon. Yeah, in the very Lisbon, we did some auto landing streams, and we had Jorge and Twixter both on my stream. And Twixter made a comment, and he said, when the Zibo goes gold, we will not have to do it anymore. And we're getting close to that stage where we're not gonna ask it anymore. But it's just a fail-safe for it right now. I love my clouds. Look at that. And if we were flying in the dark, we wouldn't have seen them. Yep, we are.
That does look good.
Yeah, I love it. So we're doing a bit of crabbing there. Hmm. Looks like you can just get out and go and bounce on those clouds, eh?
Well, so far no anomalies on your side.
Lima, Papa, Papa, Romeo, airport information, Juliet, 1930, Zulu, weather, wind, 212 at 12, visibility, 10,000, sky condition, 500, scattered, ceiling, 1,000, broken, ceiling, 1,000, broken, light, rain, temperature, 14, dew point, 13, QNH, 10, Lima, Papa, Papa,
Oh, come
Romeo,
on. No, it
airport
doesn't play
information,
it. I'm just
Juliet,
gonna wake
1.
everybody in the house. Let me go find that meter. Text 1020. Okay, so QNH 1020. Let me just change that audio around to get to my headset. There you go. Now we should be able to listen without waking the house.
Lima, Papa, Papa, Romeo, airport information, Kilo, 2000, Zulu, weather, wind, 202 at 13, visibility, 10,000, sky condition, 500, scattered, ceiling, 1,000, broken, light, rain, temperature, 14, dew point, 13, QNH, 1020, advise on initial contact, you have information, Kilo.
There we go. So we've got all that. Packs have been released. Okay. Well, we're getting there. Almost time to descend. This is one of the reasons I like this flight. It's short and sweet, and you can test anything you want in here in terms of the normal stuff, you know. So the only thing you can't test here is GLS. Right, I'm going to do this in some Toolkit Pro. Let me get that on the screen and show you guys. So these are forecast, and we can look at our chart. The transition altitude is 4,000. That's fine. So we can leave that one as is. Then in our setup over here, we've got the ISA, which is 0. Interesting one, that. Then we can look at the meter 1020. And then we can look at our wind. So we'll take 20. Go. And we'll take 15. Oops. And 10. Decent with about 54. Decent with 58. And the 69.38. Execute. Alright, so in the background that web FMC is obviously programmed. This FMC, so happiness is now we just wait for the descent to happen. Oh yeah, what we need to do is go down to what's that intercept altitude? Let me check that. 2,400. So we are all set. Bruno, depending on the weather, I'll probably land by hand. I'll exercise the auto land option if we really get in a problem situation. .42 nautical miles for descent. Hey Alex. You guys are so quiet. Come on, talk to me, Joe.
I'm just I'm just watching and enjoying this. This is a treat in the middle of the afternoon for me.
Excellent. I'm glad.
So I'm still awake.
Okay, good. That's good, Uncle John.
You ever get a song stuck in your head
Mm-hmm.
and it just stays there for hours and hours and days and months?
Share it, share it.
Alright, hold on. Let me find it.
It usually happens to me with these silly commercials that you see on television, and they're designed to do that too,
You're not wrong.
Bruno, there are a number of guys who don't like me as a person and who've actually attacked me quite savagely and viciously for actually having this channel. If you go back a few videos and you go look at the comments that the last guy made, he obviously doesn't know who I am, and he made a fool of himself, and I pretty much told him so. So I'm leaving that comment there for posterity, so anybody who's got the same stupid idea can go and read it. But what basically happens is jealousy makes you nasty. That's one thing. Ignorance makes you nasty. That's another thing. And then obviously you get the ordinary normal personality clashes. I mean, I haven't come where I am in life and with the Zibo project without making some enemies. There are a couple of guys that don't like me, and all I can assume is that, yeah, they just see, oh, I'm online, go put the thumbs down. We'll show him, kind of a dumbass children's reaction. But anyway,
That cosmic ray syndrome.
the what syndrome?
Cosmic ray.
Cosmic ray. Oh yeah, yeah, the cosmic ray that you talk about that hit planet Earth. I don't know.
Ignorance and jealousy.
Yeah.
But why, Nico? I mean, like, why? What?
Because we've always will, always have done, always will have the 0.1%.
Of people that are just weird. I don't know. Alex, to answer your question, this is version 12. I'm flying version 12. I really don't have a problem with it. I don't know what the guys are complaining about. Um, Even the systems that I've tested behind the scenes work, so I don't know. I honestly don't know.
No problems with that.
Thank you, Cody.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
What are you doing, Cody? Are you planting this earworm in everybody else now?
Of course he is.
God, it's terrible, man.
Well,
It's like, dude, I can go out to my car at 4 o'clock in the morning and this song is playing on the radio. I get done at school, 9:30. It's playing on the radio. Everywhere I go, the song is playing on the radio. It's like,
right, don't watch it, everybody. Do not watch that.
oh god, it's like it's either this song, and I mean, don't get me wrong, like the Scorpions, they're a great band, but holy crap, man, it's like Queen's great too, but nobody wants to hear "We Will Rock You" 14 times in a row.
Yeah.
Why
It's
not?
like, oh, how many other hits does Queen have, John?
Oh, come on. It's a good track.
Cody, you're in the States?
I am.
Where?
West in Las Vegas.
Gotcha.
Well, Alex, I'm not sure when the next upgrade comes. You might be okay to just wait a minute, and then you'll probably get a new one later this evening or tomorrow. I'm not sure. Can't speak on Zibo's behalf, but you know how it is. It's pumping it out.
Rian, join the queue. There's a lot of hundreds of guys just like you. Enjoyed the trip and I've learned so much.
Well, I did a great flight with point 11 yesterday. I didn't find anything wrong with it. The only issue I see some people complaining about is that warning about low fuel or using reserve fuel, but that depends how you calculate it.
Exactly. Or use it. So, calculate and implement it. Thank you, Rian. Thank you, Rian. Much appreciated. Bitrip, you know what? I was so busy today. I saw the message and then I never went back to it because I've just been running. I literally worked until half an hour before I started the stream. So it's been a long day. Just pop me a reminder for tomorrow and then I'll have a look at it again. Or, well, I will have a look at it. I haven't physically run the video yet. Let me actually go find it now while we're waiting. I mean, the aircraft's busy descending. Just have a look, see quickly if I can look at that clip.
So you guys heard about Kobe Bryant, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I listened to the tape, the ATC tape. I don't know if you guys got a chance to listen
Yep.
to it. You should listen to
Listen
it.
to the whole thing and talk to my boss, who's a turbine helicopter pilot, and he just told me he should never have been flying VFR in those.
You shouldn't have been flying where?
VFR, because he tells me if you cannot see the horizon in the helicopter, you lose control.
Yeah.
I mean, that made no sense. Why would a guy be flying VFR and marginal VFR, in a helicopter like that?
Especially, I mean, for those that have done the certification on pilotage, this is extremely difficult airspace. You have very narrow corridor to skirt below the LAX Bravo, and he was trying to get into the Charlie's, across the Charlie airspace. It's just very, very difficult and no.
Yeah, he asked for a special VFR clearance.
Yeah, I mean, if you need special VFR, I mean, you should question why you even flying in that.
I mean, he could have just filed a pop-up VFR.
Well, he just could have waited. I mean, I remember a video by one of the guy who founded Pilot Edge. He was talking the difference about, VFR minima in G class and F class airspace, and he said, well, if you really need G type airspace, which has even lower minima in terms of visibility to go out and fly, then you should really question whether or not you should be flying.
Did the weather change quickly, or was it fairly stable?
No,
Post.
bad weather. Bad weather.
Lived in LA, haven't lived in LA quite a bit. In those
He
time of
left
year,
it.
there's what's called the marine layer. Marine layer. It's a very thick marine fog in the morning, and that just covers everything. It's not changing it. That's just a poor decision making to go fly, or maybe pressure. To...
Okay.
He left out of John Wayne.
Yeah, and
For
then
Van
hit the mountain
Nuys.
in
For Van Nuys.
Calabasas. Yeah, and then hit the mountains in Calabasas. So he obviously was flying too low, but he was basically scud running. He was trying to stay in marginal VFR, so he was flying too low below the clouds. And the guy doing the flight following said he couldn't even see him on radar. So I think when a guy in flight following says that, especially in a chopper, you stop. I mean, you can just hover, and figure yourself out.
Or land next to the McDonald's, grab something to eat, and then fly later.
Yeah,
Well,
look, the
that
weather clear.
yeah, that particular helicopter has a button that you could push for auto hover. So if you get in trouble, all you have to do is push a button and it'll stop and hover.
Yeah, or just go back to your point of origin. Just don't push on. I mean, he was below. I mean, he was so low that the radar couldn't see him. I think if I'm hearing that on the radio, ATC that don't fly phone and said they can't see him on the radar, I know something's wrong. It's just very sad.
Just read what Carl's put.
Check the text. Call is a CFI, Alex.
Okay. Good to know. Yeah, I'm an armchair pilot. I'm just have a lot of useless knowledge, but yeah, that's very sad what happened. I mean, especially when it's like senseless loss of life that could have been.
That helicopter crash.
Mm.
That's it.
It's interesting information what Carl's just said.
But the FBI is involved in this now, and they're doing some research. They're talking about drones. They're talking about a lot of other stuff besides pilot error.
What would drones have to do with it? In my ignorance, I'm asking.
Collision.
I doubt anybody would fly a drone in that weather, right? Unless it's on purpose. What the hell did I want to check now? Let's do the rest of
I mean,
things.
honestly, you couldn't pay me enough to fly in that type of weather. I wouldn't fly. I mean,
the
I think
issue,
most people would.
yeah, the issue is, I don't know how to put it in English, so just bear with me. It's not my first
I'll
language.
just say it and I'll translate.
The thing that I've seen, and I've been in and out real world aviation all my life, the thing that I see is you get these cocky guys who think they're God's gift, and somewhere they lose sight of the fact that they're only human, and then they go fly in situations like this. I've seen it so many times, with guys I've flown with. There were certain types of people I just wouldn't fly with. The moment you lose your respect for the weather, the moment you think, hey, you can do anything, that's usually when the guys die.
Loss
Because
of common sense.
yeah, I know of another helicopter pilot here in South Africa that died very similarly on a flat piece of ground because he flew into IMC conditions. And you're talking about a guy that had thousands of hours of experience, and that cockiness drove him in the ground. He just didn't want to land. If it's me and we all said it, then I mean, I've flown helicopter not as a pilot but passenger many times. It's so easy to just land next to the road wait it out and then go, But the guys, they got this chip on the shoulder at some point in time, and then it's like a death sentence they walk around with.
That
You know,
sentiment, that
funny.
sentiment that Carl just came out with, that was the first thing that my trainer taught me.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, that quote, Carl, is actually in my vault of quotes. I don't know if any of you have ever seen. I've got quite a few quotes. So if you type exclamation quote, it should spew out a random quote. And that one, the Oldenburg pilots, is one of them. I'm not sure if it's going to be active now. We'll wait and see if it pops one out. But it's
Yeah.
kind of cool. I put a
What
whole bunch of quotes in there. There we go.
Carl says, what Carl says is very interesting because, I live in Switzerland and we have mountains, obviously, and mountain guides and guys getting out in the mountains. And it's exactly the same thing, as guys gotten away with it in marginal weather condition climbing peaks, and they think they can get away with it until, as Carl said really rightly, the weather closes in on them and it's just slightly worse and they just end up, with frostbite and, snow blindness, disoriented, and they die.
Mm, yeah.
One of the scenarios that they brought up on the news today was that the fact was that the pilot didn't want to turn around and tell his boss, we got to turn around and go back. So he may have pushed himself.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
So he
true.
killed himself instead,
I
and
call it
others.
get it right is,
That's
get her
exactly the
done.
term. That's exactly the term they used.
And same thing happens when in accident. I read a lot of accident investigation reports in the airline industries on AV Herald, and a lot of time when people don't go around and crash is because they don't want to have to face the boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carl, you're very right about risk management. I mean, I code software for a living, and we do quite a bit of risk. I mean, not human life type of risk, but more like house fire type of risk, electronics going bad and all that stuff. And yeah, you have to think about what can go bad first. Always have to have that in mind. What if this fails? What if something doesn't work right? What is going to happen?
I've actually gone as far as powering up, gone halfway down the runway, shut down, called it a day, put the aircraft away.
Ezekiel, hello. And then if you look at this weather. I mean, that the difference in cloud colors, and as you move through them, if you don't know what you're doing, that's going to be very disorientating. And if you don't trust your instruments or know how to use them, you're dead.
Yeah, well, come fly in Switzerland tomorrow. I mean, they're announcing a major winter storm. It should be absolutely hair right.
Flying over the ocean at night time, very disconcerting because you don't know where the horizon starts, especially if it's a moonless night.
Yeah, lack of moon will do that to you real quick.
Absolutely.
Well, that's what partially contributed to the Titanic hitting the iceberg and sinking. There was no moonlight and no reflection of the berg off of.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, call better safe than sorry, as the saying goes.
Wow, that's a good example. I mean, I know NASA, if their slightest sensors off, even by a bit, they scrub the launch because, can't afford anything going wrong.
We all want to be able to fly tomorrow as well.
I mean, the more complicated technology you're using, the more respect you need to have of it, and the more you need to follow procedures. Um, my training in chemistry and chemical engineering, we had all those stories about, people turning off sensors because, shortcutting procedures because nothing bad had ever happened anyway, and so they didn't see why they had to do all those silly tests that would take time until one day the reactor blew. So, yeah.
Oh, I'm not paying attention. Let me get my attention back in place.
5 miles, man. 5 miles.
Yeah, but I really appreciate having people like Carl on the stream, sharing his experience of flying. I mean, it's always very, at least to me, an armchair pilot is very, very precious to have real life pilots come in and share
Yeah.
their experience about it.
Oh, yeah. Niet Praten, good evening. And yes, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for that. All right, there's some ground ahead of us. Let's just get our wipers on for a change.
1,000 feet, stabilize, Mr. Birch Allison set.
Put the brake is set and well, everything is in place. So I must just not get disorientated on number 99. Yeah, Cole, that's a good argument. That I mean, yes, already a lot of money.
Yeah, or, crash because you have an engine failure on takeoff, I think. Yeah, it's $35,000. It sucks, but then again, you're alive to tell us about it.
Yeah. Right, there's the runway. Awesome. Awesome.
500.
Right, auto throttle is off. Right, hands on stick.
Approaching minimums.
Autopilot is off.
Minimums. 100. 50.
Yeah, and all the knowledge, Carl, all the wisdom and knowledge you can pass on to the younger generation, I think that's precious. I can't put a price tag.
Bit of a long landing, sorry guys.
It's okay, you got plenty of runway.
I know. Speed brake is on and it is extended now, yes.
And no fuel issues.
It came up that it was using reserve fuels or reserve fuel, and I just cleared it and it was okay, it just went tada bye bye. So
Yeah, I mean, it depends how you compute it, what you call reserve. I mean, it'd be interesting to have Carl's perspective on it, because I've heard everything and anything about what counts as reserve.
Doesn't it come down to when you need a prompt to consider a change of plan? Do I need to divert now, or do I need to divert in 30 minutes, or,
The way I think about it, and I might be totally wrong, is you have to have enough fuel to fly to your destination, and then to fly to your alternate, and at your alternate hold for 30 or 45 minutes, I can't recall. And what I call reserve is when you land at your alternate, the fuel in your tank has to be above reserve. So I don't count my alternate, I only count, the holding plus the 5%.
I left my pad in the car again.
What pad?
The one that he
Scoring.
writes your
Oh,
marks on.
yeah.
Good day to you all.
Hello, train.
Hello, I'm back.
Just one thought about this reserve fuel line. A thought for a possible stream some point, Nika. We never, when we're streaming, actually progress to doing our alternate landing.
Yeah, we don't. We don't.
This business about what is reserve fuel and all the rest of it, to sort of have something authentic, perhaps we ought to do a divert some.
Okay, we can do something like that.
Well, it would bring into experience this low fuel business. How does Zibo handle it when you're diverting to another airfield? Does it cancel the insufficient fuel or what? Because once you're en route to it, presumably you don't count your alternate fuel in being low.
It's like you've already heeded the advice.
Yeah, I was just thinking it's something we haven't, an aspect we hadn't looked at before.
Yeah, I mean, especially since there's so much confusing and everybody's saying anything, other things. And I think in real life, there's some very, very precise criteria about how to.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I know there is, I mean, we can go somewhere that is low visibility or pretend it's low visibility. And when do you decide the point has come where you've got to divert because of your fuel you have left?
Yeah, call when it matters. Yeah, that is what matters is when you decide.
And on that note, I'll sit back and watch, being so mismatched.
There's not much to watch. This is about the last replay I'm doing. I'm just sitting by the tower watching.
What do you do in the case where your divert has similar conditions to where you're trying to land now?
Take the lesser evil.
Ooh.
Depends on
There's a lot of
There's
criteria to
yeah.
think about, isn't there?
Depends
oh,
on how much fuel you've
there's
got.
there are criteria as to what you can select as an alternate, John, in the first place. And you even, for most airliners, they have to have, if there's certain IFR conditions at your alternate airport, you even have to have a second divert option.
Yeah, well, that was basically my question. You must have a backup to even that.
And it's all specified what has to.
Thanks, Carl. The thing about weather, it's an ever changing product, isn't it? You never
Oh,
know what weather's going to do. It change within 10 minutes.
well, I mean, one of the criteria you can't plan for, even if you know the weather, is if you're going to an airport with a single runway and for some reason that runway gets closed.
For
As
whatever reason.
yeah, so you can get diverted for other than weather reasons.
Yeah, I can't remember now which plane that was, which flight, but I read something about they had a simple issue. It was very, very minor, but because they didn't have the autopilot on, because the captain thought he could fly without it, they ended up nearly crashing the plane and running out of fuel because they just bungled from one airfield to the other. And I can't now remember which plane or airline that was, but it was a really, really good case study and like poor decision making and poor management.
Welcome to Porto, gentlemen.
Thank you.
I hope it
Yeah,
does not bomb on
well,
us.
thank you. Nothing strange happened.
Well, until now, I've just crashed because I got out of my pause again. Bring the fire brigade.
Oh shit!
So what I mean, the next plane coming in now can't land.
No, Porto is closed, Uncle John. You're gonna have to divert to Johannesburg now.
Exactly my point.
Just
You never
imagine,
ever know what's going to happen, do you?
Crash
just
and burn.
imagine we're doing a group flight now.
Oh, then you just come and land just over me. You just fly on over me, go through the smoke and land.
So that I found out with the Zibo, if you're not stopped at the gate with the engines off and do a replay, that happens,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know why.
No,
Well,
nobody said.
it's a case of you don't go to the end of the replay. You
I
don't
did.
have to be at a
I
gate.
did. I did.
It
And
paused and
I
replay.
did everything just now. I'm trying and it still crashed.
Yeah,
Really?
you have
Yeah.
to
Wow.
be at the gate with engine stopped before you do a replay, and
Yeah.
it's been doing this ever since I think a few version back. I think
Yeah.
37 or 38, and
Um,
so I just basically go to the gate.
yeah, yeah. I can I can agree with that to a certain extent because usually I do my replays once I've parked at the gate. Okay. This
I've tested it.
yeah, this is
I've
the
tested it.
second. Okay, cool, Alex. This is the second time I've done it on the runway or at the runway and it's burned. So I'll do what Alex says next time. I'll just go to the jetway gate park.
And it's the
Yeah,
second time in the stream as well.
Yeah, second time in the stream. So smooth flying. I did a replay, and as I got out of the replay, it basically then unpauses the sim. You know, for me to continue. Then basically it crashed and burned, and that's the discussion we're having. So Rian is correct. There's a positive side to this as well. The coffee is now really hot. So
yeah, you
guys,
might want to mention it to Zibo as a feature.
And also, I like the way that it stopped because at least we could just open the rear doors and run because it would
I'm
only
going out the
need to
front.
slow.
uh,
With all that flame, I'm going out the front.
I agree. I'm also going down the front. Those flames are bad at the back, man. You'll get your hair singed. No, no, I'll take the chute. Grab one of the dollies with me and, land softly on her if I have to, but slide, we're
That
gonna
would
slide.
that would be something they could add to one of these aircraft for an immersion.
Uh,
Slides bit coming out.
yeah.
I can do.
Anyway,
Well, we got all this GSX stuff and all the rest of it. We've got no
yeah, we'll talk to Yuri about that. Um, ask him if he'll do slides for us. Anyway, guys, it's been fun, but I also need to go sleep, I suppose. So I'll stop the stream on this high note. Mario, if you are watching or if you watch this afterwards, I did not find issues with the fuel. It's obviously now burning what is left. It's just how it is. But I didn't have any issues, my friend. I hope you get to see a difference and fix it. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and thank you for all the laughs and all these other things. We'll do it again soon. Bye bye for now.
Bye, Nico.
Bye. Bye.